up, everybody? First, just want to start off introducing myself again. Darrell Adams, founder and CEO of Evolving Through Experience. Shout out to all the supporters. First and foremost, I want to start off with that, share the light and positivity to everybody out there. Really, I'm just going to start off based on why I started the company. I know some people know, some people don't, so I just want to make sure I reiterate and make sure it's known why I started Evolving Through Experience. So Evolving Through Experience has been created for a while. I would say, honestly, I've been thinking about it since, I think it was the end of 2017, because I started in 2018. So at the end of 2017, before I was going into the new year, I was just wanting to change in heart about a lot of things, changing a lot of things as far as like what I was dealing with, mental health, which is a big thing. I know growing up we don't talk about it a lot, which I'm gonna go into it some more with probably examples as well. But mental health is vital. So I started Evolving Through Experience after coming over depression at the end of like my senior year, truly. So I was coming up with the idea, didn't have all the pieces together on how I wanted to do it. But again, that's part of life, stuff you just gotta get out there and take that chance. So I started it in March really, but before I was just working on it, so I made my LLC in March of 2018. The reason I started my LLC, I was hesitant about it, like not sure if it would work out, but I wanted taking a risk. For one, due to listening to Victory Lap, we all know, rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle, but after listening to his album, it really just gave me a lot more inspiration. And one of the things that he always said in his music, really overall, but mainly on that album, was he was like, F living, I don't want to mess up the words. I jumped off, long story short, he jumped off the deep end without the life jacket. I don't want to mess up the exact lyrics, but he was like, I'm taking risks. So at the end of the day, I took that risk, jumped off the deep end without the life jacket, because that meant a lot to me. And that verse right there probably went over a lot of people's head. Not, he wasn't saying literally, but just sitting out there and putting yourself out there. So I decided to take the risk, started the LLC, got it back ASAP, probably within like a month. It was my first time starting an LLC. I did it all myself, didn't know what I was doing completely, but at the day, took the risk. So I started the brand because I know after overcoming so many things, there's other people that deal with mental traumas, worse than mine, I would say. I don't like to compare all the time, but a lot of people deal with mental health, dealing with depression, like interviews I released before, King Dion, overcoming molestation, and it was just like a lot of things like that is what people deal with on the regular. So I wanted to shed light on that, not so much of the negative side of what people dealing with, but mainly focus on how they was able to overcome it. Because again, so many people deal with this in the world and we don't talk about it enough. I wanted to be the brand that talks about it and show people, be the light for people in the dark. And that's another thing I always talk about, showing being the light, creating or finding the light when in the darkest moments of our life. So I started the brand for that reason, just understanding like everything happened for a reason. No matter what it was in my life, I just looked at it for the greater good, and it helped me grow in so many different ways, not just mentally, but spiritually and emotionally. So now I look at things different, and that's just part of life and growing. So another thing I talked about, again, I want to go back to Nipsey Hussle, was because I actually wrote him a letter. This is something I kind of deal with myself, bothered by. He followed me on Instagram too, which I was surprised. I didn't want to DM him because I think maybe it was a mistake, but nah, we ain't gonna think like that. I think everything happened for a reason. But truth be told, I wrote him a letter based on after I started the business, just to tell him I wanted to share with him about how much he inspired me. The letter's actually still on my laptop. I haven't edited it because it was like a month, exactly a month before he was assassinated. So I never sent him the letter because I was just scared, like maybe we wouldn't get to it. I talked myself out of it, long story short. And that's not. So again, with Nipsey, man, I just want to say again, condolences to him and his family, and also this man, because he really inspired me on so many levels. And so I said I wrote the letter, never sent it, because I really talked myself out of it. And that deals with mental health too. You can't be talking yourself out of things, because I believe what you speak and what you think comes actually to life. So I talked myself out of it, never got the chance to send it to him. But I'm gonna probably share that one day, honestly, with the world, because I wanted to tell you what I wrote. Because I feel like I never could articulate myself right on levels like that because of trying to express myself. Some people gonna call it like you following, you just like overhyped D-riding, but truth be told, man, love is love, and I think we gotta share that more, especially in our community, instead of feeling like, oh, you just gassing people up. But nah, when you really got love for somebody, you should share that regardless, and that's why I want to do more of that. While people here, give them their flowers while they're here. So again, rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. He was a true leader. I really followed a lot of things he was doing, and like was inspired by him. That's, like I said, that's why I started my own LLC and went from there. But I also just want to shed light on therapy. I'm gonna talk to my therapist about that as well. But I go to therapy. I'm recommending everybody get a therapist because therapy is vital. We all go through things. Just like growing up, let me give you an example. Like, I'm sure everybody been in trouble in school before, but I'm gonna speak for myself right now. Growing up, got in trouble in school, and the teacher said I did this. Truth be told, some of the stuff I probably did, some of the stuff I probably didn't. But long story short, got in trouble in school for different things. But truth be told, I was acting out in school because I was feeling a way about certain things and dealing with my own emotions about different things. And in our community, we all guilty of our parents. We told get over it, don't nobody care. And we just sit there and bottle that stuff up. We don't get to talk about it. They be like, fix your face, nobody care about your attitude. And that stuff is like, that's going on for generations. You don't get to speak about stuff like that's internal, and that winds up messing you up in the future, and then it's passed down through generations. So that's stuff that we got to stop. Talk about your feelings, acknowledge them. I know in our community too, like males, we told we can't cry. I used to grow up thinking crying was weak. I'm losing family and stuff like that from deaths and stuff. I didn't want to cry because I was told crying is weak. Society pushed it on us, even in our own communities. Again, that's why I also wear this shirt. As society beliefs and lies. It's beliefs, but at the end of the day, lies within beliefs. That probably went over your head. But anyways, lies in beliefs. So I say, that's why I highlighted the lies, whatnot you see. Which shirt is on sale too. Because I'm out here just promoting that, because at the end of the day, again, we gotta stop going with what society tells us on so many different things. This shirt not only speaks on mental health stigma, but it speaks on so many other things. So I know, like I said, our community, we told males shouldn't cry is a sign of weakness, but no, everybody deals with things. Emotions are real for males, females, whatever other things are out there. No disrespect to anybody, just anything, animals, all that. I'm just saying everybody deals with something at the end of the day. So also, Reading Wednesdays, I speak on that too, because that's another thing I feel like needs to be spoke on as far as mental health. I know people need to read. Reading actually does help. From my personal experiences, and I'm sure other people speak on it too, you really get insight and a lot of knowledge. I feel like a peace when I read certain books, but just books in general, and not even just books, but articles. You get to learn new things, and I think that's vital for your mental health as well, because again, if you read something new that you didn't know, it makes you feel good about yourself, like you learned something. There's nothing cool about not being smart. And again, we need to read more. I'm encouraging reading on everybody. So, but the last thing I just really want to touch on is, again, I started Evolving Through Experience because all my experiences made me who I am. All your experiences made you who you are. At the end of the day, everybody go through things, and I know everybody can relate to this. At one point in your life, something happened, some kind of tragedy or a mistake you did, and you just thought it was the worst thing in the world. Like you was like, you know that feeling in your stomach you can't really explain. It's not even butterflies. It's just like your heart dropped, and you just feel like, man, how can you get through this? But now that's probably happened like 3-4 years ago. It don't even cross your mind. So I just want to leave that on everybody, man. Make sure when next time something going on in your life, that you make sure that you realize you've been through other things that you overcame. And today, I want everybody to know whatever you go through, you can continue to overcome it. You can continue to prevail from it and keep evolving. Evolving is not just one aspect. Everybody can evolve. I don't care what you've done. Wrong is wrong, don't get me wrong, but at the day, you can overcome what you've done in your past mistakes, because everybody dealt with something, everybody did something they may not be proud of, but at the day, those experiences make you who you are, and at the day, I want to share that on people with this brand and this platform. I want to share more stories about different people. So also, if you have a friend or yourself want to share a story, man, put it out there to the world. People need to hear that. So many people go through similar situations, and again, we just bottle these things up, we don't talk about it, and that's because the society has put that on us for so long. But that's not the route to go. It's nothing cool about it. It's not healthy either, and I think it's important that we do that more, because that's the only way we can do. And also, if you don't go to therapy, I'm recommending at least start journaling. I actually got picked on in middle school about having a journal. They called it a diary, but I wound up lying and say it's not that. But truth be told, call it a journal, call it a diary. It actually got ripped because the guy that was playing with it, he picked it up off my desk or something like that, I remember. And I was trying to give it back, and he ripped it. And more inside, I was really mad about it, because like, this is stuff that that's we supposed to do, but we've been picked on, or society says we're not supposed to have that. Like, wow, Mel got a diary, but now I still write. I need to do it more as much as I go to therapy, but I think it's important that we write about our issues, and even if it's not issues, just write about how your day went. If you had a great day, write about that, put it on paper, have like a personal journal or something that you can put it on. This is not my personal journal that I share, I write in, but long story short, I think every male, every female too should have that, because it's important that we share our thoughts and our feelings. If we can't personally share with an individual, I think it's important that we write it down somewhere. So again, this is the reasons why I started Evolving Through Experience, and this the only way we can evolve is to acknowledge what's hurting us. And my favorite quote is also by Jay-Z: "You never heal what you never reveal." And that's also something else that helped me and pushed me, inspired me to start the brand, because if I didn't reveal what was hurting me, then I would never been able to heal. And so many people got so much more healing to do. I think everybody still got healing to do, even people that still go to therapy. I still go to therapy. It's stuff that I need to probably still overcome, and that's the good. But the fact that I can acknowledge it is, I think it's the start of it, and that's really where it boils down to. So again, I appreciate all the supporters. Y'all can shop this shirt and anything on the brand at Evolving Through Experience due to Project Prevail. I'm just gonna speak on Project Prevail real quick. Mainly, Project Prevail I started because at the end of the day, I wanted to start something where I could also give back. And no, I'm not a billionaire yet, but I wanted to start off at the bottom. I wouldn't say at the bottom with this brand. I created this because I knew what happened in Flint, Michigan, but I wanted to help other people personally. Like, I don't know if everybody can relate to this, but an example of what Project Prevail is going to be doing. I know personally in my family, we then had to sell plates, or communities that had to sell plates and food and stuff like this just to raise money to bury loved ones. And at the end of the day, I don't want that same thing traveling to other generations, not for myself and my family or other families. So Project Prevail, when people shop my brand, I'm using these funds, a percentage of all funds, to give back to people in need. So if it's a family in need, I think everybody should be able to bury their loved ones more easier, I would say, that transition, without having to worry about financial needs and worry about, dang, how can I bury my loved one and I ain't even got $5,000 to buy a casket or get them cremated or however else. And that's stuff that I want to do with Project Prevail, and I'm going to do. So when you shop ETE, Evolving Through Experience, any product percentages, all that is going back to help people in need. So this shirt is actually on sale for $15. So I'm telling y'all, man, I'm changing the narrative with Evolving Through Experience, and all the supporters with me. I just want to thank y'all for continuing to support the brand. Make sure y'all share this video, like and subscribe us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram. All the information right here. And at the end of the day, just keep evolving. That's all we can do. Again, Evolving Through Experience. Everybody got demons, truth be told, and a lot of people not going to admit it, but the only thing you can do is evolve through your experience and acknowledge it and face those problems head on. And that's when you start to see peace and healing. Evolve through experience.